morning, Junior 4. I hope that you are all fine. Okay, with you, Mrs. Nahla Ali, we're gonna start Unit 11. Its title is Life in the North. Okay, it's the reading lesson for sure, and you can find it in your student book pages 108 and 109. Okay, from the title, can you guess which direction will we talk about? So, these people, where do they live? Yes, we have how many directions in the campus, Junior 4? We have 4 directions. We have north, south, east, and west. So we're talking about people who live in the north. Do you remember in Unit 7 when we were talking about people of the world? So do you remember the name of the tribe that lived in Northern Europe? Yes, they were the Sami people. They were the Sami people. Great job. Okay, do you remember where do they live? They lived in tents, yes, and they lived in very cold weather because when you go higher, the weather is colder. Great job. Okay, let's know about them more. Okay, these are the Sami people. These are the Sami people. So let's read some questions in order to answer them after reading our lesson. Number 1, when did they arrive to Europe? Number 2, where did they travel? Number 3, where do they live today? Number 4, what is their favorite animal? Okay, we know an answer here, which is answer of number 4. What is their favorite animal? Do you remember? They have big herds of, great job, reindeer. Do you know what's the meaning of reindeer? Yes, reindeer, it's an animal. It's a kind of gazelle or deer that has got big horns. Great. So let's know more about them. Look at the picture. They wear their traditional clothes. Yes. Okay. So let's get to know that they arrived in Europe 7,000 years ago. So when did they arrive? They arrived in Europe 7,000 years ago. They are very old. Number 2, they traveled across Northern Europe. So where did they live? They traveled across Northern Europe. Okay, so where do they live today? They live today in Sweden, Norway, Finland, and Russia. So this country, the country of the Sami people, is called Sapmi. It's called Sapmi. It's called Sapmi. So what are the 4 countries that the Sami people live there? They live in number 1, Sweden, number 2, Norway, 3, Finland, and 4, Russia. Thanks a lot. Again, let's wrap it quickly. They arrived in Europe 7,000 years ago. Number 2, they traveled across Northern Europe. Number 3, today they live in Sweden, Norway, Finland, and Russia. Okay. Let's go to the next slide. So let's know about them in the past. Let's discuss how did they live in the past. Okay, in the past they were nomads. And you remember the word nomads? Yes, the word nomads means Bedouin, like the Bedouin people in the desert. Yes. Okay, nomads are the people who move with their animals and follow the herds in order to search for grassy lands where they can feed their animals. Great. So they followed reindeer herds, and we said reindeer is a kind of deer that has got big horns. Look here. They are called antlers. They are called antlers. Herds equals the word groups of animals. Herds equals the word groups of animals. Look at the picture here. Who takes care of these animals? Who takes care of the reindeers? The herdsman or the herder. Again, the herdsman or the herder is the one who takes care of the animals or the reindeer. They used the reindeer for food, clothes, and tools. Yes, in the past they didn't have malls like nowadays, or they didn't have options or markets in their lives. So they used the reindeer for food, clothes, and tools. For example, they used the reindeer's skin. They used the reindeer's skin for making tents and boots. So they used the skin of the reindeer for making tents and boots. And number two, they used its wool. They used its wool for making coats and hats. So what did they make out of the wool? They made coats and hats. And what about the antlers? What is the meaning of the word antlers? Antlers is one of the horns. It's each of the horns of the animal. So it's one of the horns. And they made the antler, they made from the antlers needles, spoons, and knives.